The Vail Symposium brings a diverse array of programming to the Vail Valley for the curious and the seekers of knowledge. And their programming runs the gamut from issues of health and politics, history, and tonight they're focusing on art, a particular type of street art. And here to talk to me about it is RJ and Michael Rushmore. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for joining us on this August morning, Monday morning, early in the week. Thank you. So, street art, let's start from the very beginning. Zero.
Right.
I have no idea of what you mean by street art. So how do you define street art?
Well, it's art that's placed out on the street by artists, usually without permission. So we can get it. We don't need to get into the legalities of that, but artists just going out and putting their work up in public for anyone to see and experience.
And you actually collect street art. So
Right.
How does that work? If this is for the public sphere, then how are you also able to collect it?
Right. Well, typically street artists began their career on an uncommissioned basis, so they're doing work on the street, in the alleys, on the metal doors in front of a shop door that shuts down. And then over time, some of those artists become more collectible. Gallerists pick them up, like what they're doing, and they migrate some of their work from the public sphere to the gallery.
Do you find that street art focuses on particular issues or subjects, or does it just run the gamut?
You know, it really runs the gamut. There are some artists, people like Shepard Fairey, Banksy, who are pretty political, but you also have artists who just want to do really cool pop art portraits of Audrey Hepburn or whatever, you know, and it really runs the gamut. I think the big thing though is that it's accessible, right? Because if you're an artist trying to put your work out on the street and hoping people are going to see it, you can't rely on the assumption that everyone has an art history degree. So you have to make your art accessible. So that's one thing that pretty much all street artists have in common.
So I'm kind of curious as to what the motivation is behind a street artist, because we're talking about making art accessible, but artists throughout history have had patrons who have paid them for art, and these are individuals not getting paid. So what's the motivation?
I think it's creativity. Part of it is just an urge to create and produce work, and a lot of us do that. We might paint watercolors or draw or sketch, and these are people that have that same need, but their venue is the street. It's the alley. It's the back door of a restaurant, some obscure location.
RJ, you're a critic also of street art, and so when you are critically evaluating street art, what are some of the things that you're looking for?
Well, so that accessibility is one part, right? If you put out something and I look at it and I don't even know that what you've done is art, then I'm not going to see it. I'm literally just going to walk down the street, right? Okay. That's not very effective. But, for me personally, I love to see a little bit more of that political angle, because if you're going to be putting out a message in public, make it a message that matters, right? And then there's just basic skill level. I like to say, as much as I love street art, 99% of the art that's made, like you're saying, if you go paint watercolors, if I paint watercolors in my bedroom, it's not going to be very good. But on the street, that's 99% art. But if you go on the street, there's no one telling me I can't do it. So me with no skill, I can go out and put something up on the street. So sometimes you have to be like, great, that's great that you're making art, but just, you're not, it's a great hobby. It's a great hobby.
Right, more a hobby, right.
So this is a fascinating topic, and you're going to go into it this evening at 6:30 as part of the Vail Symposium. You're going to be at the Grand View in Lion's Head, and people can still go to vailsymposium.org and get tickets, or they can wait and get tickets at the door, but I think it's cheaper if you buy them in advance.
I think that's right, and I think there's some risk that it sells out, so we would encourage people to go online today and get that early.
Thank you so much. This has been Michael and RJ Rushmore. They will be speaking tonight with the Vail Symposium on street art in Lion's Head. Stay tuned. Coming up next, Megan and I are going to let you know what's coming up on tomorrow's show.